Namaste, Devi or Sajno, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Sounds Home with Bharat and Parth. And like always, is my wonderful co-host, Mr. Parth Valenskar, who's joined us. And we have someone really special today, all the way from Jaipur, the Pink City, the city of love. But Miss Disha Ramrakhani, aka DishaR. She's a wonderful fashion designer who's released her debut extended design, which consisted of some wonderful designs, including a hoodie kurta, which I'm wearing and Disha is wearing as well, and also a shacket, a shirt plus jacket. And you can go and check out the wonderful designs at DishaR. Which we're going to be linking so in the description of if you're watching it on YouTube. So Disha, how's it going? Kaisa chal raha hai? So glad to have you in our
Thank you
podcast.
so much for having me. It's actually an honor. आज ही मैंने excited
Right.
way में अपनी aunt को बता रही थी that I am going to feature in another podcast series, and it is
जी, जी.
actually a big thing for
हाँ जी that's so kind of you. हमारे लिए सौभाग्य की बात है कि हम आपका जैकेट पहन रहे हैं अभी. Also because you've been doing so much incredible stuff pertaining to music and the music scene in general, especially the indie music scene. And I always wanted to have a conversation pertaining to music with you, with all the musicians you've been associated with and all the support that you showed directly, indirectly. You've been a very active sort of entity, and you really, the passion can be seen that you carry for music. So where did you derive this passion from? What was like the whole instigating factor of you?
there are a lot of layers to where I am today.
Yeah.
So it started with a 14-year-old Disha who was introduced to electronic music, the best day of her life, not gonna lie.
Wow.
So so it was so inspiring, and the cousin who had introduced me it also introduced me to virtual DJ, in which you could mix your own things. Eventually, FL Studio also came into my knowledge, and
Uh-huh.
legitimately, I tried to make things. I had brutally failed. I mean, ये है कि I couldn't even had I did not even get to exporting that particular thing.
Which year was it?
This was ninth grade Disha,
Oh,
14-year-old Disha.
oh, okay.
Yes. And now it's about 10 years now to this.
Right,
So,
right.
and then
Did
when
you
I
do like
turned
a did you do like a throwback Thursday? Like today,
then there was the 18-year-old Disha who got her first ever MacBook.
do you
And there
always
was
talk to
this,
yourself in third? I'm kidding. Sorry, I was like, do you always talk about yourself in third person? Disha
that's
the
the
great.
past self.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the
First
past
one.
Disha. The 18-year-old Disha got
Yes.
her first Mac. And
Acha, okay.
उसमें she
Wow.
discovered, okay, there is garage band and there
Hmm.
is a lot of sound samples going on, तो चलो
Hmm.
मचा है अच्छे से.
Hmm.
फिर उसमें मैंने काफी सारे मिक्स टेप्स वापस से निकाल रही थी मैं, एंड मैं
Wow.
गैरेज बैंड के ट्यूटोरियल्स भी ले रही थी, एंड आई वाज रीमिक्सिंग some songs. I was totally playing around with sounds and everything.
Acha.
फिर then came the time of college admissions, and
Uh-huh.
ये था कि मेरे दो equal passions थे, fashion and music.
Ah.
And उसमें मतलब है ना, म्यूजिक का मेरे को इतना strong knowledge नहीं था, so I didn't actually pursue it. I did not know how to find out about what is actually happening today.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
क्योंकि मतलब है ना, fashion safer choice लगा, क्योंकि family is already into textiles and all, so they could actually help me with
Right.
that career.
Wow.
तो हम चले उसमें,
Wow.
ये पूरा
You
prep
sound like a
किया.
character from a Karan Johar movie, not to digress. But I think this is the
No.
most Karan Johar character that anyway. Textile पे already है, मैं fashion. But nice man. So
So ये college admissions के time आया था, and we had to create a portfolio. I took it, so I क्या कहते हैं, मैंने थोड़ा सा different approach रखा. I created a video. Video में मेरा सारा visual काम था, and guess what the background music was?
what was the background?
My own set of samples. And the
Wow.
worst part of the memory is जैसे bass डालना भूल गई थी, और आज की डेट में मुझे वो cringe करता है. But then when I
अरे
had interviewed for my college thing, and उसमें सबसे पहले when my whole portfolio had finished, पूरा उसका video finish हुआ था, the first thing who was soon going to be my draping teacher pointed out, you're an electronic artist fan, na? I mean, the electronic music fan, na? And I was like, yeah, I am a major fan.
Yes, absolutely. Who are the, if I may ask you, who are the sort of electronic musicians that really influenced you? David Guetta.
Tiesto was my first. I clearly
Wow.
remember listening to 076 as my first ever song, and I was madly obsessed. I have
Right.
majorly crushed on Martin Garrix to the level. This is now this is absolute tea. So one of my brothers was trying his hand on production. So मैंने उसको बहुत ही childish manner में बोला था कि है ना, when you become famous, become friends with Martin Garrix and उसके बाद मेरे से रिश्ता कराना.
वो तो क्यूट है यार मार्टिन गैरिक्स. मैं भी उसको सनबर्न में देखा था, बॉम्बे गए थे हम लोग, तो क्यूट बंदा है, बहुत स्वीट लगता है, मतलब उसका म्यूजिक भी मेरे को बहुत पसंद है. और वो काफी यंग एज से, मतलब he's like the Justin Bieber of
he is
like
as old as I am. He is as old as I am.
Exactly. He's like the Justin Bieber of EDM ना. वो कब से, मतलब I think when he came to India, damn, was he like 18 or 19 years old when he came to India? My God, I had no clue. I had seen him in 2016 and he had played, man, it was insane. He had done like a 1 or 2 hour set, and at that age only he had like animals and all those things, that just animals and In the Name of Love and all his. And I think at that point in time he was a world #1 DJ or something.
Absolutely. Even that time, David Guetta was. I was major fan of David Guetta as well.
Absolutely.
फिर and पता है क्या, SoundCloud पे मैंने मतलब अपना account बना लिया था when I was in 9th grade only, and I was discovering many artists जिनके नाम भी नहीं सुने थे. I then also did not had any idea that I was discovering some underground artists who were creating bootlegs and other things. मेरे को तब भी कोई idea नहीं था, but then yeah, I became fan for what they were producing. I did not care about the name. फिर फिर चलो कॉलेज वाले पार्ट पे हम आ गए. उस टाइम भी मैं मस्त सुन रही हूँ एंड सबको सुना रही हूँ क्योंकि मेरा गाना सुनना पड़ेगा. Then came my final design project, a stage, and 1.5 years before it had to start, I had already decided. I was friends with this music producer who is also now an indie artist, and
what's his name?
His name is Satvik Sarkar, though we are not exactly friends anymore. And so मैंने उसके साथ legitimately प्रण लिया था कि कैसे भी होगा, कुछ भी होगा, I am going to take inspiration from a song and I will create a collection from a song. ये मैंने 2017 के end में लिया था. And so हमने 2017 में decide कर लिया था, and eventually he became my mentor. He ran me through Ableton, and I spent 4 months of early 2018 in finding what genre I want to work. मेरा उस टाइम कॉलेज इंटर्नशिप चल रहा था, and I used the commute while driving. I would listen to a lot of music. So I made a conscious choice. Okay, I'll narrow down what songs I really love, and then I'll further going to narrow down that which genre I'm going to go with. So it took me 4 months to decide that yeah, I'm going to go with a trap song. So I asked Satvik to create something, and it was a very ethical collaboration we went ahead with. And he not only just taught me this just gave me the song, but then he also taught me how this certain details work, the differences on the Ableton, and I myself tried those things. So I technically had a brief time of getting back to how production actually works. And फिर वही हुआ कि मतलब है ना, मेरे को हर एक साउंड का पता लगा, and we decided upon a storyline that we would go ahead, and जो भी मतलब उस time it was quite vague that it happened, but then मैं ना song का जो मतलब हर mood में 5 moods में divided था. According to the sounds, and उन moods के according I had given कि मतलब क्या texture जाना चाहिए, क्या visual होना चाहिए, and I created a collection which was so brilliant. Even I am surprised by myself that I did it. There were two tops in the collection which actually had lights installed in it. So technically that top was literally lit in down. Literally.
Quite literally. But
Nice.
wow, that's wonderful.
Absolutely
Man.
literal.
Did you take it to the Times Lit Fest? I'm kidding. Sorry, that's a bad joke. Cancel. Cut this part out. Cut this. I'm only going to edit. I'm going to tell. Cut this part from the podcast. But
तो फिर ये
yeah.
था कि है ना, इसमें मैंने साथ में एक और लिया था प्रण कि सो इन कॉलेज वी हैव अ सर्टेन, एक है ना कॉलेज वालों ने एक वॉल बनवा दी थी ऑफ वॉल ऑफ फेम. So there was this one senior of mine who participated and won international design awards for her collection. I was every day I would see it and I was so inspired that I worked like crazy कि भाई दुनिया जाए भाड़ में, I am going to enter this competition and I'm going to win it. मैंने जब प्रोजेक्ट खत्म हुआ था तो बहुत टायर्ड हो गई थी and somehow I had signed up and I forgot about it कि let's see क्या होता है. Then in January 2020, I was just running my errands and doing my thing, and I see a mail. Disha, you have won bronze in avant-garde category in International Design Awards, and
Wow.
that
Wow.
was, and it was for this concept only, for
Acha.
turning a song into a futuristic collection for a music video.
क्या बात है? क्या बात है?
And this was a whole new motivation for me, whole new motivation. फिर थोड़े से जॉब वाले साइड में मेरे साइड से डिफिकल्ट सिनेरियोज आ रहे थे एंड इट वाज ग्रोइंग वेरी टॉक्सिक. फिर लिटरली लॉकडाउन लगा और उसके 3 दिन बाद आई वाज टॉकिंग टू अक्षित एंड डिसाइड किया कि चलो ये करते हैं. एंड ये भी मतलब है ना, पहला ट्रिगर हुआ था, आई वाज लिसनिंग टू आकाश चोपड़ा का एक पर्टिकुलर पोस्ट था ऑफ द
अच्छा.
येलो फेस्टिवल in which he was singing his song. Okay, I don't remember
अरे
the
आकाश
name,
चोपड़ा
but
तो
then
cricketer है ना? Sorry.
no.
Sorry.
Don't cut this now. Don't cut this now.
What are you on? What are you on today?
Just not coffee today. But this is the after effects of having coffee at night.
Book.
But yeah, no, Disha is something in this kurta, man. I can something. It's not me, it's the kurta. But no, I get
Yeah,
it.
मेरे को जब भी YouTube पे मैं सर्च करी सारे आकाश चोपड़ा द क्रिकेटर के आते थे, तो फिर it would be very difficult to find the indie artist.
Yeah.
So one day I had become friends with him, बहुत बातें हुई वगैरह वगैरह, and I was listening to one of his old posts from the Yellow Festival in which he was singing a particular song, and उसमें there was this particular person who commented his vocal texture is really good. And वो vocal texture जो word था ना, that was a trigger for me. And there's vocal texture and then there is a texture of a fabric. इन दोनों का association बन गया. So मेरे को immediately idea आया था कि आकाश का vocal texture is so smooth and so airy that he is very clearly, without a doubt, his vocals are chiffon. That's how it started.
क्या बात है?
Also started.
Did you ever
So
tell him your
ये
vocal is chiffon?
absolutely. I told him multiple times to make sure he remembers it.
Right.
Now I have even a notebook in which I have listed कि कौन से artist को मैंने किस vocal texture से associate किया है. And ये है कि every day it is also bringing me back to the old college project I had made, जिसमें we had to collect all the fabrics. So every time it gives these songs give me an opportunity to return to this thing, and this is one of the very key concepts of the brand.
Right.
कि जो artist का vocal texture है, Bharat, right now you are wearing the vocal texture of Mission Recovery, who goes by the name Vishal. उसका जो vocal texture जो कानों में feel होता है, that's the same that you're feeling on the skin.
What are you saying? That's insane. How do you sort of correlate both the things and decide that this?
These are associations that are happening. Associations हो रहे हैं. Like Vishal का vocals is like this only. It has a certain opaqueness, and it has a very comforting that you are feeling that comfort in this, and there is a certain opaque texture that is happening. So that is how I also associated Vishal's vocals as well.
That's insane. That's just blowing. Wow. That's blowing my mind right now.
Yeah, but again, I mean, I think I'm blown away by this concept, but
Yeah.
my question here is, how do you like, because so fabrics will be like, for now they are like limited fabrics and limited
No.
textures, right?
There is no limit. There is no limit
So
in texture. There is no limit in texture.
so enlighten me a little bit about it, because I'm a little confused. How do you relate to each and everything,
Okay,
right?
let
Did
me
you say
think.
Akshit too?
Okay, let's take Akshit's.
Did you
Let's
say
take
Akshit
Akshit's.
तेरे गाने polyester जैसे लगते
नहीं
हैं?
नहीं उसको मैंने एक्चुअली बोल रखा है उसका भी ऐसे ही टोटली वेंट नट्स ओनली
हाँ.
उसको सो वन डे आई वाज लिसनिंग टू वन ऑफ द सॉन्ग्स फ्रॉम ईपी ओनली एंड मैंने फिर है ना आई इमीडिएटली ग्रैब्ड अ बुक एंड आई वाज कॉन्स्टेंटली रबिंग माय हैंड अगेंस्ट द वेरियस टेक्सचर्स दैट आई थॉट आई वाज फीलिंग एंड आई केम अक्रॉस ये सो देयर इज अ सर्टेन थिकनेस ऑफ अ फैब्रिक जिससे मतलब है ना टेक्सचर भी डिटरमिन होता है सो मैंने अक्षित को बोला कि है ना अक्षित go if you have a ये linen fabric any kind in your house एक बार उसको टच कर उसको मैंने बोला फिर उसने बोला चलो ठीक है and then I told him कि this is your vocal texture अब इसका मैं adjective से बताती हूँ अक्षित का vocal texture it has a certain weight it has a and उसमें मतलब है ना एक डीप और हायर पिच का एक बहुत ही स्मूथ सा ब्लेंड है व्हिच गिव्स अ शाइन बहुत ही सटल सा शाइन एंड लिनन का जो मतलब ये कॉटन से थोड़ा सा थिक होता है तो फिर है ना इसका कोई भी वीव करो देयर इज दिस रेगुलर वीव गोइंग ऑन तो फिर है ना वो सर्टेन ऊपर नीचे थोड़ा दिखता रहता है सो दैट इज हाउ आई एसोसिएटेड और अक्षत के गाने का भी तरीका ऐसा है
Absolutely.
अब the same case is also for Osho Jain as well.
Yeah.
But what would actually differentiate is that how they actually create their songs. Like मैं अगर अक्षित के लिए मुझे बनाना होगा तो फिर मैं अक्षित का स्टाइल देखूंगी उसके मैं देखूंगी कि वो क्या इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स भी यूज करता है because I use the song like let's say इसका एक वो कौन सा गाना था
I'll be famous one day.
Superstars yeah I'll be famous one day उसका ये उसमें काफी सारा इलेक्ट्रिक गिटार वाला पार्ट है तो फिर देयर वुड एक्चुअली बी एंड वो भी मतलब है ना डिस्टॉर्शन सॉर्ट ऑफ वे में है तो फिर उसको मतलब है ना मेरे दिमाग में आइडिया आएगा दैट ओके आई एम गोइंग टू श्रेड दिस लिनन टू गिव दैट एडेड सर्टेन एरियाज की मतलब है ना वो श्रेडेड डिस्टॉर्शन दिखाएंगे गिटार का
Wow.
So that is how I am determining styles for each artist that would be unique अब अगर ओशो जैन का मुझे सीन करना होगा he makes impact with his lyrics and his composition in such a manner that it gave me कि okay this is a proper thappa that he's making so it means it's a block print that's gonna happen.
Absolutely. Wow, man, that's just insane. Speaking about like even clothing materials and sort of using that as an analogy with the kind of songs that you're working towards and sort of blending both the sensibilities. Tell me about what is the most favorite clothing material for you to sort of work on. What is what do you think that goes with what you try to do best?
The thing is this trying with the songs has actually given me the opportunity to be unbiased.
Yeah.
So ये है कि अभी मेरा literally बताऊं मेरा कोई particularly favorite नहीं है. Like it's like asking me that which song is my most favorite song. I cannot tell you that I mean I can tell you which song is currently my favorite at this moment, but then it is changing every day, every week, every month. तो फिर ये है कि ये भी मेरा सेम ऐसा है someday I am actually feeling like okay I want to make a drape with silk man I really need a workshop then some other day I feel like okay यार dad मेरे को है ना ये I want to go to Jaipur Weaver Center because है ना मेरे को एक ये मेरे friend के गाने से क्या idea and I want to explore this particular visual in this particular weave जैसे there was मैंने एक illustration भी बनाया था जिसमें I tried to illustrate अरहम का red wine and उसमें वो illustration में भी ये था कि I was trying to show एक होती है इकत weave in And ikat weave, you can easily imagine a pixelated pattern going
Hmm.
on a fabric.
Hmm.
Pixelated pattern going on a fabric. So is tarike se I have been getting a lot of inspirations every day.
Wow, that's wonderful. Tell me about this. Belonging to Jaipur, which is artistically and culturally so rich for even clothing and a lot of other things for sure. I mean, architecture and the way of living and everything pertaining to the Rajasthani culture embedded into what everything that it has. Every component of it represents that, right? So where
Hmm.
there's like a predominant culture of like block painting and all those wonderful traditional ways of clothing which have been carried forward since centuries. How do you sort of use that? Do you sort of subscribe to that school of thought into the clothing that you try to do? Because you've also designed a kurta, right? So was there some sort
Yeah.
of influence of being and growing up in that place and trying to sort of blend it with the sensibilities that you have with all the sort of fashion that is
Yeah.
coming worldwide, and your
Yeah.
of course your
So
degree as well?
when
Yeah,
I'm making an art, I am making
yeah,
it for myself. But then
yeah,
when I'm making a design, I am actually making with an intention to sell it.
yeah.
So when I am designing, I am not only looking at what is the art that is going to come out of from the song and the vocal texture, but then I'm also looking at what silhouettes and are actually the lifestyle product which are easy for people to access. And uske andar I try to incorporate the unique thing. Jaise I already know that kurta is a major hit in India. So
Hmm.
Mhm.
how about I actually try to incorporate a hoodie in it because it's Mission Recovery's signature style,
Hmm.
and the full sleeves. In fact, I had a plan of making uh, sweat shirt jackets क्योंकि पहले winter का scene था in which there was this denim jacket happening and उसमें से sleeve निकल रही हो which that also covers your palm as well. वो
Hmm.
वाला scene मेरा करने का था, but then it did not fit my budget. So I am trying to find every design. I'm trying to find a balance between how much I can play as an artist versus how much I can offer as a lifestyle product.
Hmm. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Tell me about this. You even spoke about lifestyle products, which sort of brings me to the next question we have for you. India is a market which is, the large majority thrives on like fast fashion. We also spoke to a NIFT graduate, Divik Sharma, who's from Delhi, is a musician as well, and he was also talking about like how fast fashion is a predominant trend in India, and a lot of people, whether it's your online shopping sites or whether it's going to H&M, I don't know whether that really falls under the category of fast fashion. Correct me if I'm wrong, but
It absolutely falls in. It absolutely
absolutely
falls in.
right, right, right. So in a market which is so obsessed and thrives on fast fashion, how do you sort of maintain the originality that you carry and your approach towards something which is so niche and so specific and requires so much of time and energy and so much of thought process and so much of passion is exuded? And secondly, what is your favorite fast fashion trend?
सबसे पहले I am absolutely against fast fashion. So
Hmm.
I kind of am. So when I was working in that particular job, like I had mentioned before starting DishaR dot,
Hmm.
I was actually seeing that like the back end part of it, that how workers or the karigars are made to do that extra mile and
Hmm.
kind of not getting that work. So
Hmm.
entering indie scene was technically my escape from that mainstream or the fast fashion industry. So
Hmm.
Mhm.
technically, for me, it is not really the competition that I'm looking at.
Hmm.
I mean, yeah, I am considering producing in a certain bulk,
Hmm.
but then uh, my target is actually the ones who are slowly switching to slow fashion and
Hmm.
who want to invest in something called the clothes that are made with love.
Hmm.
In today in morning, we I was in a certain discussion in which it was actually acknowledged that by someone that okay, I am just wearing this shirt and I don't know by whom it is created, and I don't even know the story. But
Hmm.
then I would be definitely, if I am buying something and I'm
Hmm.
getting to know the story also about a particular artwork or a clothing, I would
Hmm.
love it as much as it was done with while it was creating it.
Hmm.
So eventually, to narrow this down, loved clothes last longer, and fast fashion का rule ये है that they don't want their clothes to last long. So ये scene है. I totally don't associate myself with fast fashion
Hmm.
at all,
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
and I am against the use of polyester or anything in plastic as of now for first production, because I was limited in time. I had no choice to use the plastic. But
Hmm.
then
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
am connected with a lot of friends who are guiding me and suggesting me or use themselves using on certain alternatives which are earth friendly. So
Hmm.
this kurta that we are wearing, Bharat,
Hmm.
it is supposed to last for at least 3 to 4 summers, which means
Wow.
minimum 9 months ये तुम्हारे साथ रहेगा. And अपने song का भी एक ही रहता ही है कि मतलब a song stays with us for quite a long duration. So that is
Hmm.
also my thought, that I
Wow.
want the kurta to stay with you as long as this and as long as the song stays with you.
Absolutely.
And ये जब disintegrate होएगा तो फिर it is not going to 100% harm the environment either, because this is 100% cotton.
Hmm. Absolutely. Wow. There's so much of thought put into it, which I really appreciate. Tell me about this. Let's change up the second question for you. When you said that in a market where clothing has a certain shelf life to it, pun intended, you basically are, people, of course, considering like commercial aspects of it, they would want people to sort of come back for the clothing and, with the new trends sort of circulating in an ever changing market. Uh, Tell me about this. How do you ensure that the kind of designs and the kind of pieces of clothing that you put out, how do they stand the test of time? What is your approach for that? Is it a deliberate approach, or is it just the sincerity and passion that you exude that you think would ensure that it has a shelf life to it?
These are actually both the sides only. Like hoodie kurta was actually inspired from the artist, but then कुछ artists का ये होता है that they are very regular into certain things, and I am intrigued to do something really new.
Hmm.
So I log on to Vogue Runway, which has the latest shows going on,
Hmm.
because the big designers, the big names like Fendi, Chanel, and Hermes, they make they are actually the trendsetters in the world.
Hmm.
So they are always they have a certain clientele who want to experiment all the time.
Hmm.
And I also want to develop a clientele who are not afraid to experiment.
Hmm.
So just I am making it more affordable, but then I am not ripping off someone like Zara or
Mhm.
Fashion Nova or Shein.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
That's
Absolutely, absolutely. You spoke about like major organizations that do, which sort of brings me to two questions I have for you. One, that you have done a degree from a college and you have expertise in terms of, you know, on an educational front, you understand what it is and you have the right amount of knowledge for it. Firstly, that is something that makes you understand things in a lot more deeper sense. So tell me about this. You are operating as an entrepreneur right now and you are, putting out your art. uh, is there any organization that you would want to be associated with? Which sort of brings me to the second question. Is there any organization in mainstream that you think has the correct practices in its sort of administration of how they sort of run the company? They have certain set of ethics, certain set of principles that you really prescribe to and you would want to associate with further as you're leveling up.
I would say the House of Anita Dongre and the brand Doodle Age. The House of Anita
Sorry,
Dongre is
what's
in
the
Navi
second?
Mumbai.
What's the second
Doodle Age.
Doodle
Doodle
Age.
Age.
Okay.
So
Okay.
House of Anita Dongre's two brands are working on in a very sustainable manner, and the founder founder herself, Mrs. Anita Dongre, Miss Anita Dongre, I don't know how to address it. She is consciously making an effort to keep her company's carbon footprint neutral. She is kind of the pioneer in India about this, and this is very inspiring for me. Dusra Doodle Age is actually, their concept is basically they source the rejected pieces from the factory, and they create new clothing out of it. And then I think there's another one, Grandma Will Approve. This is also a brand. They also do the same thing, and they make some crazy street style stuff. So there are many brands who are now coming up with their own perspective of how to make a certain art or anything sustainable, whether it's the material. Here I am working on to bring the indie musician more recognition. कॉलेज में हमारे प्रोफेसर्स हर बार बोलते थे that the most noble thing to do in as a designer is to support an art form or a craft. So initially I thought कि है ना हमको ये गांव में जाके कुछ craftsmen को support करना पड़ेगा. It was actually, I realized when I started indie with this collaborative brand with indie music, that I never ever had the restriction, because indie art indie music scene is also in a very underground level, and eventually I am supporting an art form or a craft. And so such brands is something I really resonate with and inspire me, and they actually are one of the reasons that I have a particular character, or my brand has this character.
Good you brought up indie musicians, because the whole point of the ED, the extended design that you make, is to bring the indie musicians to the forefront and sort of translate what they're doing sonically into design work, and express it channelize it via the means of clothing. So what is it that really gravitates you towards indie musicians in particular, and why indie musicians are the sort of clan that you really, or the community that you really resonate with so many different kind of musicians? Do you really resonate with them?
Okay, this is a very interesting story.
Yeah.
Just Satvik ke saath lasting days mein tha na friendship, tab he kind of started to passively bully me कि तुमने ये कोई indie artist search करने की try की है, because via him I got to know that there's something called the indie music scene, and the first artist I ever heard from him was Pratik, which by the way I do not listen to him anymore.
अच्छा, अरे वो भी तो जयपुर से यार, माफ कर दो उसको.
हाँ, he kind of lives near my house.
अच्छा, हाँ, you told me, हाँ. Correct, absolutely.
So he eventually, does
he, when you pass by from his house, does he sing "Tum Jab Paas Aate"? Sorry, that's a bad joke. I had to bring that up. Sorry, Pratik. I mean, but yeah.
You're saying sorry, Pratik, as if he's going to see the episode.
He'll say ना, तूने कहा मैंने सुन लिया. So Pratik को और punch the bag, baby.
And I need to point out. Bharat did this. Sorry, Pratik. Like Pratik is going to watch this.
I mean, I hope, man. We want to get him at the podcast, man.
Oh man, yeah.
We don't want this to go against us. So.
You got the deets. So back to the story. So he kind of bullied me, and that's how I came across Akash Chopra. And उसी time में मतलब है ना ये था कि he was co-founder of this cafe called Shahar Cafe, which is right near my this house I'm staying. And no, I'm at my grandpa's place actually, which is on the other side of the Jaipur.
Oh, MI Road? Where is it?
No. Jawahar Circle.
Is there a place where they used to play that sort of pehle ke time pe Kings and all, they used to play like a game or something like that? Is there like a waterfall? Is there like a waterfall near that Jawahar Circle?
No. It's not the waterfall. It's just a giant gate.
How far is it from Jaipur Club though?
Jaipur Club se it's about 20 minutes.
I might have been there. I definitely might have been there. Yeah.
So yeah, he was organizing indie music and उन posts के through मुझे पता लग रहा था. In fact, by शहर cafe, I got to know about Osho Jain also.
Yeah.
So फिर यहाँ से मतलब है ना, मतलब I just vaguely started कि okay, there's this आकाश चोपड़ा, आकाश के through मुझे अभिन and तनिष के बारे में पता लगा था.
Right.
And फिर ये था कि चलो I already know these artists. फिर यहाँ से मेरा proper hunting शुरू हुआ था. After Akash and Abhin, फिर मैं उनके friends से मिली who were more musicians, and eventually the cycle just went on. I was attending many artists live videos जब lockdown खुला था, and वहीं से there was this fire that was ignited. Okay, अब तो भाई connect करते जाना है लोगों से. And now just today only I have hit a tribe of 700 followers.
Wow.
Nice.
That's wonderful, yeah.
But
This is for like your
I'm definitely
clothing.
here to run a marathon. I'm definitely here to run a marathon. I don't feel like doing the
That's the best
sprint.
approach.
And
Yeah.
ये है कि ये 700 लोगों में से I actually know about 690. I mean, मैंने इन 690 लोगों से personally interact actually कर रखा है, and the recipe always has been that I really like your song. Would you like to tell me how you created it? And that is how the whole magic of sustainable friendship actually began.
Wow.
Wow.
That's wonderful, man. It's a wonderful.
So I am a designer, and I've been through so many design processes. So eventually I knew that they also went through a certain process, and मेरे को पता था कि हाँ चलो थोड़ा सा technical deeds भी मिल जाएंगे, education भी हो जाएगा. So that is how I went about connecting with many artists. So I've now made friends with a lot of adorable producers, a lot of cool and super amazing singer-songwriters.
Absolutely. That's wonderful. So tell me about this. You're speaking about collaborating with musicians in various ways, and especially like the extended design. You've had musicians who like Mission Recovery, if I'm not wrong, Vishal. You basically collaborated with him to make kurtas like these and the other stuff as well. And you had musicians even wear the clothing, right? In terms of like the promotional pieces that you guys made.
Yeah, they're kind of the influencers.
Absolutely.
They're kind of the influencers.
Absolutely. So that brings me to like two questions that I have for you. One is that apart from the general consensus about how beauty and how fashion has been sold to us is that you need to be a chiseled person, perfect body, then you need to speak the right things, and now as we are moving forward things are changing, right? What do you think apart from the physical attributes is something that a person should have to sort of pull off a design with grace? I mean, grace is one of them, of course, but what do you think are the sort of attributes that you sort of look in a person?
It is actually about so I've been also doing some styling consultation as well, and it's and what I actually eventually tell them is that in whichever piece of clothing you feel the most confident or something, like I am going to walk the world and I know I am looking the best. When you get that particular feeling by wearing whatever that you are, that is that particular clothing for you. I even encourage gender neutrality as well. So
I think this is the best example of gender neutrality. It's almost a school uniform. Sorry, I'm kidding, but
yeah
absolutely.
Even,
I mean, the whole point of school uniforms is to make everybody feel in equal sort of entity, right?
Exactly. So my brand is actually open to LGBTQ community as well, and I have had customers from that community as well.
How cool! That's nice, man.
That's really like nice. A real achievement. That's like a real achievement for me.
It's good that you're looking at it in those terms, and I think everybody.
So, I am actually looking at a lot of things just to design a piece of clothing.
Oh, for sure.
So I need to mention this right after like you described how how you think about voices of singer-songwriters or anyone for that matter and compare it with clothings. Right after that particular moment, I am not going to be able to listen to a song in a normal manner. Very frankly speaking, I'll be like looking for, okay, this guy's voice sounds like this. Ye kapda mera.
Have you heard Opposites by Parth Bhai, Disha?
Sorry?
Have you heard his song Opposites? He just released it.
Not yet, but then that's the next thing I'm gonna do after this
Yeah.
podcast.
Oh man,
I mean,
thank
if you
you.
get an opportunity, listen to it and tell Path Bhai what, like
Yeah,
a palm
I
reader.
actually just followed him also. I just followed him also
Yeah.
a while
क्या
ago.
बात है, क्या बात है, क्या बात है. So tell me about this. Bringing coming to the second part of the question that I was trying to ask you is that you've already collaborated with musicians. Are there any other sort of artists or art forms that you're really fascinated by and intrigued by, and you would
Hmm.
want to sort of incorporate by the means of your art or your designs?
I actually haven't thought about it क्योंकि already म्यूजिक और म्यूजिशियन के स्टाइल को लेके ही इतना सारा चीजें हो रहा है. So as of now, I haven't thought about it, but I never restrict to a particular idea. Like I initially started this idea with just painting on fabrics. But then it eventually grew to कि यार ये particular चीज cannot just be painted. It can easily be
Right.
screen printed or something else.
Right.
So already मतलब मैंने ये एक certain hierarchical way में grow कर ही रहा है. पहले मैंने सोचा था कि हाँ मैं खुद पेंट करूंगी. Then after that it came to the point that I am also connecting with local artisans as well.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I know that at least जो मतलब ये कुर्ता प्रिंट हुआ है, भले ही मेरे डैड के ही प्रिंट फैक्ट्री से हुआ हो, but then I know कि कौन से मतलब श्याम जी was responsible in the main operations, and there was this computer person who actually chose not to the video to introduce himself as the artist. But he is responsible for the CAD part of the design, and then I got to know from my another factory कि वो मेरे चाचू की फैक्ट्री थी मेरे अभी काफी. But the hashtag who made my clothes already brings in कि मैं काफी artisans के साथ technically collaborate कर ही रही हूँ. An ethical paid collaboration.
Absolutely, yeah. That's the best way of doing it. Tell me about this. You've released the extended design, and we've collaborated with musicians, and we've sort of known how you look at things in the largest scheme of things. How has that empowered you? The response, like you said, that you made clothing which is gender neutral, which is inclusive, which sort of caters to a particular community of musicians, and you've made it in a way where the clothing is going to last. So that all the boxes are getting ticked in terms of quality, passion, artistry. How has it empowered you to further take steps to put out work, and how do you sort of approach things now? I'm sure that it's given you a certain sort of confidence and certain sense of self belief.
Yeah.
How do you sort of approach things now?
अब ये है कि obviously सबसे पहले तो contract basis पे आ गए हैं. Like I have obviously a contract drawn कि एक बार tiny सी गलती हो गई थी. तो अब मेरा approach मतलब है ना काफी ऐसा हो गया that I am constantly on a research, and I'm waiting for the COVID scenario to get a little easier so that I could go back to hunting what new topics have come or textures have come, just to add to my book. And ये है कि अब ये होता है कि मैं कोई भी नया गाना सुनती हूँ, and if I am hooked to it, I'm listening to it again and again and again. The next thing I'm doing is that I'm grabbing my textile book and I'm constantly rubbing my hand कि okay, is this that particular texture that I thought it is? तो फिर वो वाला चीज फिर शुरू हो जाता है. Many times it is also that I'm literally getting a vision in the middle of the night. Okay, this particular song is ringing in my head, and man, this would perfectly go with this particular art form. For example, this artist Polymancer, उसका production करने का approach.
Yeah, we just recorded a
Polymancer.
podcast with him.
Yeah. So
pretty good. Yeah.
so he is again a linen person, but then उसका production का approach ऐसा है. It is it in a layman's manner, it is a very haywire situation going on, but he is an absolute poncho which has marbling done on it. He has a very distinctive story to tell, but then वो आपको ऐसे वो sway करके ले जाएगा ना अपने song में. तो फिर that beauty is in a poncho which has marbling done on it. So it is so it's actually a very dreamlike thing that I imagine. So ऐसे मतलब मेरे को ऐसे आइडियाज आते हैं कभी रात को कभी ऐसे. So yeah, it's technically like that. I mean मेरा टेक्सटाइल बुक की तरफ और ज्यादा मेरा कनेक्शन बढ़ गया है and I'm constantly now I am also looking at music to keep my playlist updated all the time. And obviously नए गाने और सेव करने को मिल जाते हैं. So now I'm technically describing Full Volume Mode, the playlist, as a whole treasure.
Check out Full Volume Mode, guys, by Disha.
So Full Volume Mode is the only indie playlist in which only the artists who have monthly listeners less than 10,000 are featured in this. I mean, जैसे 10,000 cross करते हैं, they go to this other playlist called the big places because उन्होंने अपने बड़े numbers grab कर लिए going places.
क्या बात है. Speaking of places, which sort of brings me to the next question I have for you. Where do you think, in terms of India, does the fashion that you want to build and work towards, or the fashion that you're fascinated by, has the right environment, or it could even be anywhere across the world?
It's because India की जो textile variety है ना, वो दुनिया में और कहीं नहीं है. The work with natural materials, I mean, every has a different weave going on. And within that state, it's not just only one, but 2, 3, 4. There's a Uttar Pradesh, it has brocade, it has Lucknowi, chicken curry. So mere paas hai na, like I have a huge variety to explore. So I don't need to go anywhere outside the world to do that research. I am actually at home and I have access to everything. And ये है कि इस तरीके से कि ये एक third level पे I am actually giving that support to the local artisans as well. Imagine like indie artist ka vocal texture is being associated with the original weave of the India.
Right.
Absolutely.
So here's one follow-up question I've been meaning to ask, basically, and good that you mentioned, you've been working with the local artisans, and you've been working, again, we've mentioned this a lot of times, that you've been working on independent music and then taking that and working with local artisans. And what I wanted to really point out was, so if you look at the overall, people making clothes and working on that professionally, if you look at it, that whole industry is like, we can see a lot of examples where people have tried to do, tried to make a lot of beautiful things, but not getting their dues. And I think and specifically for India, that has been the case, that we've had a lot of different variety of like artists, if I must say, making different varieties of clothings. And still I feel, this is what I feel, that they have not yet got their dues. And this is not like the younger generation of them, like the old traditional art forms, right?
You mean the Karigar haven't
Yeah,
gotten their dues?
right.
So yeah, this is actually the awareness that I have been trying to work upon. मैंने काफी ये stories and reels and ये share किए हैं. But want to make aware कि मतलब किन्होंने ये आपके कपड़े बनाए हैं. आज भारत मेरे प्रोफाइल पे जाके देख सकता है in the behind the scene that who have been responsible for what part of making of the clothing. So ये है कि it's actually a revolution that started in early 2000s called a fashion revolution, and they are actually empowering in it. So everyone who puts the hashtag who made my clothes, they're actually telling कि इस person ने मेरे कपड़े बनाए हैं, this kind human has made my clothes and they have been duly paid their. So ये है कि मतलब है ना ये डिजाइनर की और जो मतलब है ना जो कारीगर जो मेन एजेंट के अंदर काम कर रहे हैं, they have to have that understanding कि भाई ये आप सारे जो मैं आपको पैसा दे रही हूँ आप उसके प्रॉफिट्स नहीं रखने वाले हो. If this कारीगर is working for you, they will be very ethically paid. Otherwise I'll have my own team and all though I have a dream of creating my own little factory with such ethical scene going on, but then that's a distant dream right now. I mean, just starting here.
No,
Probably
that will
next
also
10 years,
happen.
I'll have my tiny factory.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Right.
So,
And I think when we start, we should have something to aim
work
for,
on.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
so hashtag I made my clothes is actually that movement going on
Yeah.
that the artists have actually known that who made their clothes and
Hmm.
been you know even in that particular my mom is featured in it because she wrote some of the tags में जो
Mhm.
I've had it particular space जिसमें personalized messages है तो फिर मम्मा ने कुछ देवनागरी स्क्रिप्ट में लिखे मैंने रोमन स्क्रिप्ट में लिखे क्योंकि मम्मा की हैंडराइटिंग मेरे से ज्यादा अच्छी है देवनागरी स्क्रिप्ट में.
Of course, of course.
Right.
So, good that you mentioned about highlighting those things on social media, which sort of brings me to the next question that I have for you. In a market where remote work and virtual connections is sort of taking charge, whether it's Clubhouse, social media platforms, or us doing this on Zoom, right? Uh, how much of your business thrives on social media, and what is your favorable social media platform? Also considering the fact that you made a website for yourself where you do all the retail stuff for, and sort of
Mhm.
are building a personal brand and working towards that.
सोशल मीडिया से मेरा रिलेशनशिप ये है दैट उससे मैं मतलब है ना when I'm using it to find new artists, I'm looking to be inspired and eventually using my own profile to tell people about my brand. This is
Hmm.
just so technically my social media scenario is just my portfolio of what is एंड जिनको बाय करना होता है दे राइट नाउ फॉलो अप अभी ये सीन चल रहा है बट देन इवेंचुअली माय आई एम working under my guidance as well on how to go about the business wala part and eventually I will be connecting with another mentor who would be telling me how the marketing thing would be
Mhm.
happening. I haven't decided who exactly would that be, but then someone from I think from the indie scene only I'll be taking mentorship from.
I think Akshat is a good name for that. But
Yeah, I was gonna actually suggest that this to Harsh Lok. I This is the most recent indie artist I connected with, and I think काफी बार मेरे shout outs देख ही लिए होंगे हर्ष के लिए.
I
Yeah.
think so, yeah, absolutely. So it sort
Yeah.
of brings me towards the next question we have for you. For having studied, I mean, you already put a practical body of work out, right, in terms of the extended design that you worked on. So you already have stuff out there for people to buy, wear, purchase, and all sorts of things. Uh, Having studied fashion design and sort of blended it with your own sensibilities and POV on fashion and your own understanding of music and passion for it, uh, how much has the knowledge that you've gauged help you sort of set a base, or is it things that you had to figure out on the job while doing it?
The business part of it, I definitely had to connect with my dad and the job that has been helped me.
Hmm.
But it's the literally the design part in which I would totally credit my college because they have always encouraged on pushing my limits. They have always pushed my limits on going a little further on. Okay, what is new in this? They would always question it. That how does it make it a design and how you are bringing something which does not exist in the market. So I have and I've had plenty of explorations to do. I in fact had a whole separate workshop. Like my batch had a workshop in which we went crazy on that haute couture level crazy. Haute couture is highest level of couture in which designers go mad crazy. Something that you just
Mhm.
you just cannot imagine wearing someone even for uh, कि मतलब ये रनवे पे या फिर कान फेस्टिवल के रेड कार्पेट पे भी कैसे हैंडल होएगा ये
Hmm.
समथिंग लाइक
Okay.
दैट सो वी
Okay.
हैव एक्सप्लोर्ड ऑन दैट लेवल सो वो मतलब मेरे 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 डिजाइन सेंसिबिलिटीज को बहुत अच्छे से ट्रिगर किया So it's the creative side that was always tested and developed and pushed and all by college. And the later experience gave me the idea that how the lifestyle product works.
Having put out a practical body of work and having learned in college, and understanding where you would want to sort of learn things, and also even looking at trends or the kind of craft aspect of fashion design, is there something that you want to learn moving forward now?
It's always happening. I mean, I constantly whine about how I miss college and all, but then I always I use so I have three social media accounts. One that is for the family, the life of the show. Then there's Disha Ramrakhani. It has all the details. I mean, all the things that that currently is going on in the fashion industry. All the illustrators and designers, majorly illustrators and designers and artists like that. So via them, I am getting that what is going on in the fashion scene. Then DishaR is a part where I see that what is going on in the music scene. So the content on Disha Ramrakhani is actually the ones that I had taken a little bit from my college, and then there was another my best friend in the fashion scene who kind of pushed me into that research wala part.
Right.
I mean, I'm mostly using Instagram. I hardly use Instagram for the memes. I am mostly using it. I'm mostly using the platform to collect all the data that goes into design.
That's wonderful, and that's a very practical approach that you can get swayed by the algorithms of social media and get sidetracked sometimes. But I think it's good that you're holding a ground and understanding that you're there for a particular reason and doing that. Tell me about this. You know, uh, you are working constantly, you're following up, and like you said, that you're collecting data. Who are the top 3 people or top 5 people that you really look up to worldwide in terms of fashion?
I actually have to see my Instagram for that because I mostly remember you seeing the posts rather than. But if I have to say that someone are my gods, kind of a situation, then one has to be Alexander McQueen. The amount of exploration he did while he was alive, no one did to his level, and he actually, he would put an honest story or for example, with a fashion collection, he had portrayed the disputes that were going on between Scotland and England. That sort of a truth. So that really that kind of became, oh my god, this designer is someone I need to kind of worship. He is not anymore, but his work is actually living till date.
Absolutely.
Then there is Princess Princess Diana, late Princess Diana. Her sense of style, her confidence really resonates with me. Technically, the year she died, I was born, so I kind of find this a very beautiful coincidence for myself. So she that one example is she brought athleisure when the athleisure was not even the term that was actively used. So that's an example.
Wow.
So my intent over here is that I am bringing music to fashion.
Right.
Before anyone else does it.
For sure. In fact, I think you should have some patent or something on it, because I think try to if you could just sort of register an IP or something like that, because I think you're doing
I'm actually waiting for it. I have decided that एक बार उसको और success दिखने मिले मेरे dad और chachus who are the current investors in this unofficial way में ही, if they see that there is a potential in this, so I have made a deal that I will get my brand officially registered for this.
You should. And let me know if you need somebody in terms of IP. I don't know whether that person will be that helpful to you, particularly pertaining to fashion. But I could send you a contact once this podcast is done. I'll send you that contact. So, anyways, talking about people you like, is the other. I'm sure that people like your work as well, which is very evident. What is the best compliment that you've got yet? for the work that you put out?
Best compliment.
Yeah.
So technically it's not exactly a compliment, but then आज ही एक moment हुआ था, and I'm going to read out this comment to you.
Sure.
So Mission Recovery had today, created a playlist of artists in the indie scene only, and my first customer Arsh Akhtar is a part of this. So
Okay.
he had first made it, first thanked Vishal, the Mission Recovery person, for adding him, and then the next he wrote, and thank you, man. It's so cool to wear your song and to know what the song is about. Thanks to DishaR for introducing your music and doing what she does. I have then there, it is quoted. The lyrics are quoted. I have calmed them and said, "I'm fine. I'll work it out. I'll promise losing myself. Keep making music,
Wow.
man." And this
Wow.
is legitimately telling this is my dream interaction that is happening between the customer and the musician.
Musician.
क्योंकि
Yeah.
ultimate goal ही यही है. Ultimate goal ही यही है. So this is actually today this particular part in the comments that is going on. This is actually the dream interaction that I aimed for.
Wow, man. That is like, I think that's the best thing that you can get in return from your work.
Actually, I mean, मैंने tag में वो Spotify code डाला ही इसलिए है that people get to know that what song they're wearing when I say that they're wearing a song.
Right.
Absolutely.
Now, it may not be not everyone's taste, which gets me to the another part of the um, the brand's aesthetics. It is not about कि मतलब मैं सिर्फ artist को support कर रही हूँ, but then this is also me, living my fashion dream, which means कि just because someone is not aware about the music, but then they like what I have actually created. Like they just like the concept that there's a hoodie on a kurta, and they bought it for that, and they discovered, okay, this is made from a song. Now this is another mind-blowing thing. I mean, already
Right.
I bought something that is not easy, that is not actually available in the market, something that is new, and now I'm actually discovering that it is actually made from a song. So the first is a fashion liking, and then coming to know that it is actually made from song. So this is also the part of the concept that the brand holds.
Oh, absolutely.
And the fact that it's not just like you've taken a fabric and written a song on that. It's the fabric is like very closely related to the song and how it was made and how it makes you feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
और ये स्क्रीन प्रिंट भी ऐसे ही नहीं है. सो आई फिक्सेटेड कि है ना, जो भी रैप होएगा, सो रैप का एस्थेटिक ऐसा होता है दैट इट हैज अ सर्टेन मोनोटोन गोइंग ऑन इट, एंड इट इज वेरी फास्ट. एंड अगर हम स्क्रीन प्रिंट भी देखेंगे, इट हैज अ सर्टेन न्यूट्रलिटी गोइंग ऑन इट, एंड इट लुक्स फास्ट, दैट द वे इट हैज ये विजुअली फास्ट दिख रहा है. So that also represents the association of rap with screen print.
Wow, that's wonderful. So this brings me to the last question I have for you, which is going to be followed by the question that we ask in every podcast, called the corporate question, that only Parth Bhai asks because he's from the corporate world. So tell me about this. What is the best piece of advice that you've gotten as an artist, and what is the best piece of advice with your own knowledge and experience that you would want to give to budding artists?
All right. Actually ये टेक्निकली मुझे जो मेरे को एडवाइस मिली थी, वो टेक्निकली मेरे को मेरे एक्सपीरियंस ने मेरे को दी थी. So it is basically that create art, but have a business for it to sustain. I mean, I need to have a financial backing so that I can create more art. I mean, one day I was talking to my dad that yeah, dad, मेरे को है ना ये पास वाले बिल्डिंग में एक फ्लैट खरीद के दे दो. All I'm going to do there is draping. Then the next thing dad asked, अच्छा ठीक है तू ड्रेपिंग कर ले, मैं देखो वो कपड़े वगैरह सब दे भी दूंगा, फिर उसके बाद क्या होएगा, वो उन ड्रेप्स का क्या होएगा, वो तुम्हारे सिर्फ पड़े रहेंगे क्या. So that is where it comes that intent to, if you're creating something, get a value out of it in return, so that it motivates you even more. And the advice I want to give is if you have a particular dream, don't hesitate on researching it. Go about it. You will find a way of actually realizing your dream. If you have a certain thing, and दूसरा ये है कि है ना, the WGSN is a trend forecasting website. So they came up with this particular trend that the future of business survivals are actually collaboration. So, don't doubt if you get a weird collaboration, because I have tried and it is working out really great for me.
That's
Nice.
wonderful. That's wonderful. So, Parth bhai, over to you.
Okay, all right. So this is going to be the last question of the podcast, and we call it the corporate question, and you'll understand why. So the question is, what do we expect out of Disha in the coming future?
Disha as in the human or the brand?
Both.
Disha as the artist. Let's say that.
All right. I intend to be as ethical as I can be. I intend to, ethically pay all the artists that are helping me produce and realize my dream. And every payment that I make will have the utmost gratitude, which will resonate, which I have the confidence that it will resonate as a blessing for that particular karigar or artist who would be. I mean, ये मैं confidence से कहना चाहती हूँ क्योंकि मेरे को पता है मैं उसमें इतना प्यार डाल रही हूँ that yeah, this is a very emotional thing for me.
You should call your brand Disha Pear Dot. Very bad. Very bad.
Bro, what coffee are you drinking today?
I know, man. But yeah, but that'd be so cheesy. I can't even. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean ये है कि yeah, the payments आज की date में some like लोगों को आ रहे हैं, and there are some who might not be getting. So I want my payment to, जिस तरह से मेरा dream realize हो रहा है, I am kind of making that क्या बोलते हैं
Conscious
ethical
effort.
and materialistic effort कि मतलब वो उस person का भी वो dream revive करने में वो या फिर continue करने में वो contribute करे.
Absolutely. क्या बात है. That's wonderful.
I'm a privileged brat, so I just want
You
to
by
use
no
my
means
privileges in the best way possible.
You're by no means a privileged brat. I mean, you just live beside Pratik Ward, but that's fine. Okay. But no. Okay. Pratik Ward is a very hardworking, talented person, and so are you. And anyways, on that note, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, Disha, and we wish you the utmost prosperity, and we hope that everything that you said manifests in the most correct, ethical, and right way, so to say. And may you keep this passion intact and just build on it, compound it, and grow exponentially with you as a person and your brand as well. And we are looking forward to some incredible stuff from you in the coming years. So on that note, thank you so much. Please, guys, go and follow Disha. We're going to be mentioning her Instagram links down. Disha, if you want to tell your Instagram ID to everybody.
My brand's ID is DishaR. And then DOT.
Wonderful.
DishaR.
Yes, absolutely. And you guys, if you made it till this point of the podcast, please go and follow us on Instagram. Our Instagram ID is soundshome.pod. You can check out our website. It's called www.soundshomepodcast.com. It just redirects you to YouTube, but that's also cool. And because we paid for the domain, so we have to plug it. And you can also follow our graphic designer Saurabh Tripathi, is doing some incredible work. You can follow him.
He does amazing work.
Absolutely. And you can even follow Ritwik for the intro and outro animation that you guys are seeing, the wonderful work that he's doing. Please go and follow him. And also, we put out a podcast every Friday. Like I said, please subscribe to YouTube if you're watching it here. And also on audio streaming platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Apple Music. And we guys will see you in the next one. Thank you so much. This is me, Bharat, and my co-host, Mr. Parth. We'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for joining, guys. Take care. Bye-bye. Cheers.
Bye.
मेरे को एक चीज बोलनी है. The last part of it actually sounds like the hashtag who made my podcast.
What is that?
जैसे फैशन रेवोल्यूशन का एड मेंशन ना, who made my clothes, वैसे यहाँ पे ये hashtag who made my podcast.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It's like you said, collaboration and teamwork. It's all that, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
So we
absolutely.
have to mention them, and so that's the least we can do. So absolutely, yeah. So on that note, thank you so much, Disha, and thank you so much for taking the time. And we'll see you around. Okay?
All
Chalo.
right.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Bye.